What's happening, gamers? It's Ran. Today's frame we're running to cap is the brand new Styanax Prime. Now, I've been looking forward to this one for a while. Ever since Styanax was first released, I've loved the whole Spartan aesthetic, the shield, the spears, the animations, and of course, the Tana 2 skin. I honestly think it's one of the coolest looking Warframes DE I've ever designed. So going into this run, I had one goal. I wanted to become the ultimate Spartan spear god, and it honestly didn't quite work out that way. Now, before everyone starts running down slinging spears in the comments, Styanax Prime is still an incredibly strong Warframe. He's got permanent armor strip, ridiculous energy economy, fantastic team synergy, and one of the most complete kits in the game. But after taking him all the way to level cap solo, I actually think his strongest build isn't the one I wanted it to be. The really surprising thing is just how unpopular Styanax still is. Back in 2024, his usage sat around 0.88%, which is criminal, but in 2025 that actually dropped again to 0.51%, and it's not because he's weak. I just think he's an absolute pain to unlock for most people. Having to complete the new war, grind call missions every week for stock, and slowly unlock him through chipper takes roughly 4 to 8 weeks to gather enough stock to purchase him, and this is enough to put a lot of players off before they even get a chance to play the frame. Thankfully, now the Prime's here, that fixes the problem, and I have a feeling we're going to start seeing a lot more Styanax players running around. Now, I will admit, it wasn't my cleanest run to level cap either. As predicted, Destiny 2's final update completely stole my life over the last couple of weeks. I've been spending a lot of my free time doing low man raids and challenge content over there, so I was definitely a little bit rusty coming back into this run. If you'd like to see some of that Destiny content as a bonus on the channel as well, let me know down in the comments below. Anyway, enough yapping, let's get into the builds. The original plan for this build was simple: make Final Stand do all the work. To help with that, I initially tried out Roar, but I found myself struggling to keep the energy economy going once I got deeper into the run, so I swapped over to Nourish instead. Honestly, that solved the problem immediately. With Nourish, Prime Flow, Archon Stretch, Equilibrium and Rally Point all working together, I never really had to think about energy again. The gameplay loop became incredibly smooth, and I could focus entirely on casting abilities instead of watching my energy bar. For the augment here, we're using Intrepid Stand. This is absolutely mandatory for the setup. Every spear that damages an enemy grants Overguard, turning Final Stand into both your damage ability and your main defensive tool. For Arcanes, we're running Molt Augmented for more strength alongside Arcane Truculence. Because we're constantly generating Overguard, Arcane Truculence is triggering its viral explosion consistently and adding another nice layer of damage throughout the run. For Archon Shards, we're running 2 Tau Yellow Cast Speed Shards, 2 Tau Red Strength Shards, and a Tau Purple Equilibrium Shard. After playing the build, I actually think the cast speed is one of the biggest quality of life improvements, and I've seen the most benefits from increasing that. Throwing spears faster simply makes the entire frame feel much smoother, and I would recommend focusing heavier into this with mods like Natural Talent, for example. For weapons, I actually used Styanax Prime's signature weapon, Afentis Prime. Just felt wrong not to use it. It's pretty cool and does decent damage, and it just looks the part with this kit overall. I would recommend using primary compression alongside this, which on aim it does 0.2 times explosion radius but plus 100% damage and 5.5% ammo efficiency for every 1 meter of radius lost. This will help focus down the damage profile of the Afentis and make it even stronger again. I just don't have it yet, so I couldn't use it in the build. Alongside this, I used Ballistica Prime Incarnon, just recently released, and I actually had quite a lot of fun with this weapon. The damage is respectable, but actually charging the Incarnon on this is a little bit awkward. I think it's just the fire rate made it just feel a little bit more clunkier than I would have liked. The gimmick of it of creating the ghost allies from defeated enemies is really cool though, and I think it builds into the Spartan 300 style build of using Styanax Prime. I'd honestly love to see DE buff that mechanic a little bit more because it's such a cool and fun concept. Lastly, of course, as usual, we have the mainstay of my builds, which is Praetos. For the companion, I used Ballistica Prime. Main reason was for supporting Archon Stretch and helping with the energy economy. That worked well enough, but probably it's honestly overkill alongside the rest of the build. If I was doing this again and rebuilding out this loadout, I think I would switch over to Nautilus Prime to use Cordon to group the enemies together a lot better, add far more value to the spear build itself than the additional utility that Ballistica was providing. As usual, we have the operator with the 547, and this thing saved my ass multiple times in this run. I was totally tuned out on a number of occasions and got downed, and operator getting saved me more than enough times. Don't forget to like, share and sub the channel to keep up to date with the level cap runs in the series. Let's take a look at Styanax's abilities. His passive honestly sounds much better than it actually is. Your critical chance increases based on your shields and overshields, with bonus doubled when using spear guns like Afentis. It's nice, but it's definitely not the reason you're bringing Styanax to level cap. His first ability was actually the Helminth slot in this build. I replaced Axios Javelins, as I said earlier, with Nourish, because keeping the energy flowing ended up being far more valuable than another damage ability. His second ability, Thorough Strike, is absolutely incredible. You swing your shield in a cone out in front of you, permanently stripping enemy armor and shields while healing yourself for every enemy you hit. The only real limitation here is positioning. You need to be fairly close and everything has to be in front of you in that cone. But once you get used to that, it becomes one of the most satisfying armor strips in the game. The other great part about this ability is it's actually his Subsume ability, so you can put it onto other frames as an option for armor strip, which I think a lot of people really sleep on. His third ability then is Rally Point. This is another fantastic ability. It constantly generates energy for both you and nearby allies, while also restoring shields whenever kills are made. Then we get on to Final Stand, the ability I was most excited about, and unfortunately the coolest ability in Styanax's kit also turned out to be the most dangerous one. Like, don't get me wrong, watching dozens of spears rain down from the sky never gets old. The animation on this is absolutely amazing, and it's easily one of the coolest looking abilities in the game. The problem here is, again, like a lot of abilities, it leaves you exposed when you're playing at higher levels, and especially with this one, you're just suspended in the air for the entire duration of the cast. Early in the run, that's totally fine, but as you get later into level cap, you're effectively hanging there like a piñata in front of every enemy on the map. The Overguard from Intrepid Stand carries you for a really long time. Eventually though, enemies start deleting that in an instant, and once that happens, Final Stand becomes a lot riskier than I was actually hoping it to be. If this ability worked more like Corvex's Crucible Blast and give you the grey bar while casting, I think it would instantly become one of the strongest abilities in the entire game. So how did the run actually go? Early game was exactly as I'd hoped. Everything exploded, spears were flying everywhere, deleting the room. Overguard was keeping me super safe. Genuinely thought this build was just going to cruise all the way through to cap. Then the enemy damage really started catching up. As the levels climbed, the Overguard started disappearing almost instantly as soon as I was building it. Instead of feeling like an unstoppable Spartan, I suddenly found myself relying on Operator Last Gasp multiple times just to keep the run alive. Some of that was 100% on me. I've barely touched Warframe this past few weeks, thanks to playing Destiny 2, so I was definitely feeling a little bit rusty. Absolute skill issue, but even taking that into account, it became pretty obvious that the defensive scaling of this build simply wasn't keeping up. The armor strip from Thorough Strike remained fantastic all the way through to level cap. The energy economy was incredible. I genuinely never had to even think about energy. The only thing that fell off really was the spears, both in defense and attack, which is honestly a shame because that was the whole reason I wanted to play this build in the first place. So where do I stand with Styanax Prime after playing him all the way to level cap solo? Honestly, I still think he's excellent. He's one of the most complete Warframes in the game. Permanent armor strip, amazing energy generation, great support for the team, strong survivability, fantastic team utility. I can absolutely see why so many people love him. I just don't think this is how I'd build him again for a solo level cap. Personally, I'd lean much harder into taking him as a weapons platform, using Thorough Strike and Rally Point, focusing on the shield gating. Probably use Nourish or Roar over the 4 is the safest bet to let your weapons do the heavy lifting while his incredible utility supports everything else. The Spartan fantasy is still absolutely there, it just isn't quite the level cap monster I was hoping it would be. Anyway lads, another solo level cap clear in the books. If you made it this far, let me know how you've been building Styanax Prime because I'm convinced there's absolutely a way to make those spears work. If any of you have managed to make a full spear focused build, comfortably clear level cap, really want to see that, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to join the community Discord as well. Links down in the description as always. It's become a brilliant place to share builds, fashion frame, ask questions and vote on the upcoming level cap runs. Next frame we'll be running is Equinox after winning the last community vote, followed up by Limbo, which I know plenty of the lads will be really pleased to finally see. If you've enjoyed the video, help me out with a like, share and a sub so we continue bullying the YouTube algorithm as we're on the road to 1k subscribers, which is absolutely insane to even say. Enjoy the rest of the gameplay lads, and until next time, take it easy.
Void Cascade has surpassed the tipping point. It's lethal now. Leave the area while you still can. You did everything you could. I've secured enough cleansed exolizers to keep the Cascade at bay for now.
A valuable lesson.